In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you all about the transition with both the irons and the driver. Stay tuned because we'll be talking about how the upper body and the lower body work together to give you the perfect move from the top of the backswing, whether you want to hit draw, fades, or even just a straight shot. We're going to be talking about weight distribution and that stigma behind lateral movement. We're going to be working on how the shoulders keep that connectivity on the way down, but also they keep the width. For the irons, you want to be compressing the golf ball. For the driver, you want to be hitting up on the golf ball. We want to be maximising distance, but also getting that consistency in ball striking. There's a lot to cover in this video. Stay tuned. As a full-time golf coach, I am available for coaching online, so please do drop me a message. DM me on the Skillest app is always the easiest way. What we can do, we can set up a Zoom consultation. We can chat a little bit more about your game, how I can help you improve it, and set a bit of a plan moving forward. If you're coming into the off season, now is the perfect time. Let's embrace the off season. Let's improve your game. Download the Skillest app. The link is in the description below. Drop me a DM and let's go. We're going to start with a transition on the irons, then we're going to move into the driver. They are kind of the same. I think the way we try and strike a golf ball with the irons is different to the driver. We try and compress down on the irons, we try and hit up on the driver. The body shape's different. I think the emphasis on how we're going to strike the golf ball makes a huge impact on the way the majority of golfers do try and hit the ball. Obviously with the driver, I think one of the key things is power, speed, and obviously distance, and we make those kind of mistakes kind of more magnified with the way we make that transition on the driver, whereas an iron, a lot of the times we're looking for a little bit more of a specific target based shot. So we're looking at trying to control a shot with an iron as opposed to a driver where we're trying to get that speed. So one of the key things I want to try and talk about with the irons in particular is that transition in that lower body, how the lower body works. We want to create a nice compressed strike into the golf ball. We want to move the lower body with a little bit of lateral into the lead side, but we also want plenty of rotation. Now, before the lower body can work correctly, the upper body's also got to be working in sync. So for the purpose of this video, we're going to talk as if the top of the backswing is in a nice, compact, relatively neutral position. Whether you are laid off or slightly across the line, we still need to make sure that very first movement in the transition is as good as we can possibly manage. So once I get to the top of the backswing, body weight position is generally around about 50-50, maybe slightly favouring the trail leg. Your lower body would have rotated approximately 45 degrees. Your shoulders and your chest should have rotated approximately 90 degrees. So that means then on the way down, your lower body's got a 45-degree differentiate between upper and lower body. So that means on the way down, the lower body's going to be more advanced than the upper body. And that's a real key thing within this video. We want that. That's a good thing. That's something that can help you really uncoil for lots of power. But take away power for a moment. That's one thing that can really help you with consistency and quality of ball striking. So as I get to the top of the backswing, I would want to feel that my trail elbow starts to work in towards my stomach. Now I don't want it to come in, literally inwards. I want it to work downwards into my stomach. Because when I stop the golf club in this position, you notice the shaft of the club is pointing down the target line. Okay, so if I can get the golf club working down into that position, I feel like my trail shoulder is also helping it into that position. Now I can drive my lower body towards the target. If I get to the top of the backswing, this is one of the key things that I see a lot of, trail hip, trail shoulder move towards the golf ball. And in doing so, the golf club's going to find its way to the outside of the swing plane. Okay, now often what happens from here is the club works towards, for right, the golfer's towards the left of target. The lower body can't drive, it can't transition the weight properly, it can't rotate, it kind of has to extend up to get out of the way. all right? So if the transition starts correctly from the upper body, and this is why this drill's amazing, so everyone just grab a golf club, put it across your shoulders, or a stick, or if you've got nothing to hand, just put your arms across your shoulders. You swing up, get that nice shoulder rotation. From here, I've got the club head on my trail shoulder. I'm going to push it so it points just outside of my trail foot. So now I'm rotating my shoulders around my spine angle, okay? So I'm pushing it down. That right trail shoulder is pushing down towards the outside of my trail foot. And in doing so with my arms, there. And as I do that, this is where we want to try and make a 2-in-1 movement. Now, a lot of golfers ask me what starts the transition, what goes first? And it's a hard question, isn't it, really? Because at the end of the day, the whole body's moving constantly. Within that 1 second of a golf swing, every single muscle in your body's moving. The better players, the best players, the highly skilled players can move things kind of in tandem. The players that are less skilled, the higher handicappers, or the players that are learning, are trying to dissect different movements before you've made it natural, want to know exactly what moves first. So that's why I always say upper body. It always depends on the play, it depends on your fault. I don't know what your fault is, but 9 out of 10 times it's the upper body that causes the fault because it moves in that direction. If we can get the upper body transition correct, then it's much easier for us to work the lower body. If we get the lower body working first, the upper body can still go in the wrong direction. What I want you to feel, this is going to help with path and compression. And this is why the two go hand in hand. I want you to feel from the top of the backswing, this trail shoulder works down towards the trail foot. The trail elbow works into the right side or the trail side of your stomach. Okay, so you get up, you pull it into there. I've got my trail arm literally touching my stomach at this point, all right? And again, this is for the drill. There, okay? Now then, as you do this, I want you to get this 2-in-1 movement that I just mentioned. I want that lead hip to go over the lead foot. Now, big question I get a lot in golf as well. Can you have lateral movement? Lateral movement's got this stigma around it that it's not a good thing. If you think about where I am now, I'm centered, okay? Now, when I finish my golf swing, I'm going to be over my lead foot. So I have to move laterally. It's impossible to not move laterally. A lot of lateral issues come from upper body lateral. Very rarely do I see too much lower body lateral that I'm worried about, okay? So I get to the top of the backswing, as my trail shoulder goes down towards my trail foot, as my right trail elbow goes into my stomach, I'm going to push my lead hip over my lead foot. Right, now I am in a power position. I've not released my trail arm and my lower body is not quite rotated yet to fire through the golf ball. So this is the point where if we can get that, that's the move. I want you to feel like the upper body, the trail shoulder goes down, that pushes, you either pull it down or you push it down, whatever your feeling is, down towards the outside of the trail foot. And then your left hip, your lead hip, is going to drive to the target. You're going to get that 2-in-1 movement there. And just stop. Once you get to about thigh height with the hands, just stop. If you can get that position on lock, you're going to be bloody brilliant at golf. Right knee, trail knee, as it comes down, drives in. See, I've got that driving in. I haven't got it going out here because, again, those movements that go over with the shoulder, forward with the hip, that right knee often goes in that direction as well. I want this trail knee there. So as I transfer my weight, as I pull the club down into position, this trail knee goes towards the lead knee. My ankle drives in, my inside of my shoe goes in this direction. Then I'll extend up into a nice balanced finish position, okay? So we get up, 1, 2, 3, turn. I'm over the golf ball, it's a great position. And it's a lovely strike. It really was a lovely strike as well. I am very, very happy with that. Okay, so we get onto the driver. What happens with the driver? same. It's the same. Ball positions move forward, okay? So my swing arc, the bottom of my golf swing is still going to be in the middle of my stance where my 7-iron was, where I just crushed it. But now the driver lands in the middle of my stance, and by the time it gets to the golf ball, it starts to work upwards. The golf swing works on an arc. It's on a semicircle around the golf ball. So with a driver, what I'm doing is I'm hitting it after the center. So I'm hitting it as the golf club's starting to arc more left around my body. Now, as I get to the top of the backswing from this perspective, what am I going to do? My trail shoulder is going to work down. My lower body is going to work to the target still. My head relative to the golf ball is still in the middle of my stance. So there. Now, as I hit my impact position, you'll notice my lead hip is over my lead foot and my head is still in the middle of my stance. That's what creates the natural spine tilt as you're striking the golf ball. And that's one of the key things. And when we have that much spine tilt, the body weight position differs. So we're not over on this left side a lot more than we are with the irons. We're a little bit more centered. If anything, I always feel like I'm still hitting it off my back foot. I still feel like my weight is really into my right side as I'm hitting this. So one of the key things is just trying to make sure that the head position stays in the center of the stance, but your body still makes all the same moves. Now, it looks different in comparison to the impact position on an iron because the ball position is different. If I was to shorten this golf club up to a 7-iron and put it back in the middle of my stance, it wouldn't look that different now, does it? It's just different because the length of the club and the ball position. But I want you to try and still get the feeling that the driver movements are the same. We're not trying to move the upper body to go and catch that golf ball. We want to stay here. And often what a lot of good practice is when you actually nudge, if you hit the ground before the golf ball, don't be alarmed. It's not the worst thing in the world because it means that you're landing the golf club correctly. You're a centimetre too low. That's all it is. So, ball positions forward. I'm going to get 1, 2, 3, 4. Right shoulders down, left hips forward. Oh, just a bit toey, a bit drawery, but still absolutely no danger whatsoever. All right, so the transition with the driver, transition with the irons really is the same. We're just going to create some different impact factors based on ball position. It's amazing how that could sound so simple, but yet be so difficult because it's golf. Golf is difficult. Guys, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video. I hope you've learned a lot. If you've got any comments, please do drop them down in the comments section below. And I look forward to reading them and answering them. Take care.